This is the Beesotted Pride of West London podcast. Beesotted in Qatar, and we're still here in Qatar, and I'm sitting here. Actually, you haven't heard from us for a couple of days, because what's happened is we do a little podcast, and then we go off and have lots of fun. And we're actually sitting here by the beach. It's by the sea. It's at a place called Lusail, which is pretty much at the northern tip of, of Qatar. It's about half an hour's drive from where we're staying at the moment, which is sort of nearer the centre. And we're here it's a big fan park. They've got 2 screens here. They've got a beach. We've had a little dip in the sea a little bit earlier. They've got 2 beaches, one for people that have to pay, and one for poor people that don't have to pay like us. So we went to the poor person's beach and we complained. And we've just been watching, and it's been one of those days. This is what I love about the World Cup. When you go away to the World Cup, you've got nothing else to worry about, really. You don't have to worry about the ironing or the washing or going down to Sainsbury's and getting shopping for the family and the kids or anything like that. You can be completely selfish and literally just turn up somewhere and watch football all day, every day. So we've sat in this fan park and we've watched 3 matches so far. We're sitting on these sort of, it's not beanbags, it's sort of like Middle Eastern sort of rugs. They're kind of sort of like Middle Eastern sort of like flying carpet type things, you know. I'm not being stereotypical at all, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just, if you going back to that kind of vibe. We've been sitting, and everyone's sort of sitting around here. It's just almost like a sitting fan park. Not much standing going on here. Everyone's sitting around. You can hear the music in the background as the Canada game's just finished now as well. So the DJs come on, and sort of a bit of chill out zone going on. But anyway, I'm just going to be casting my mind back to a couple of days ago, because the last time you heard from us, we were going to go into the England game. We were feeling mighty confident after beating Iran 6-2, and we thought, wow, win that game and we were already qualified, and false your uncle. And things didn't quite go according to plan, and we went inside the stadium. You know, we left you. It took us 3 hours to get from town into the stadium. It was completely ridiculous. Like, you know, getting on the train, getting on the bus, queuing up, getting on the walking for miles, getting in, the security getting in, you know, the organisation. And I've said this before, I'm just telling it as it is. It's not the best at all. And I know a lot of people are saying they've never done this before. It's not their fault, but it's a big competition, and you need to just pull your socks out, you know. And you can't have sort of thousands of people kind of walking for miles and then standing for ages while you sort of sift people one by one through the gates, like, you know. But anyway, we'll come back to the England game. So the England game, USA 0, England 0, and if anything, you know, England, maybe particularly in the first half, were lucky to not go away with losing that game. But, you know, they eked a draw out of that game, which has meant that they are pretty much almost guaranteed going into the next round. Big boos after the game inside the stadium from the England fans. They weren't happy at all. There was a lot of quite a lot of angriness, actually. I was particularly angry because I'm just quite happy to have gone through, because I've seen England go out after 4 days in Brazil, and I never want to see that happen again. So I was quite cool with what went down there, but I know there's a lot of angriness there. And also back at home, people sort of looking at Gareth Southgate and saying, is he the man for the job? Anyway, I'm sitting here in the chill out zone on my rug with the Blades. I've got Mark Blade in the house. Mark, how you doing? And Mark, just to set the scene, he came out a little bit later, so he didn't make the Iran game. He came straight out for the Wales game, so he's been here a little bit less than me, so he's not as tainted by Qatar life as myself. How you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good. Cheers, Bill.
Yeah, and just talk to me about, you know, I mean, first of all, let's just talk to us about your first few days. I mean, obviously, you had about a day or so beforehand, before you went into the England game. Just tell us about your initial thoughts.
Don't know, where do you start? I mean, it's a different World Cup, but at the same time, it's a good World Cup. You know, what's not to like about coming over here, meeting people from all over the world? All the general parts that you expect from a World Cup and you love from a World Cup, they're still here. It's just a little bit harder to find, and I think it's going to take a little bit more time to get into understanding where you need to go, how you need to connect with the other fans. But when you do, it's still great, and the weather's here is lovely. The stuff that they've set up for us is nice. They've probably misjudged a few of the things around it in terms of getting in and out of places and in terms of getting crowds of people together properly. But when you get all the ingredients that make a World Cup good together, then you're still having a really good time.
I mean, and just coming back to that point there. So what you're saying is that, and this is what our thought was that it's been difficult. There hasn't been the same kind of getting together as there has been of other World Cups. It's quite disparate, you know, finding things to do hasn't been particularly easy, and just finding groups of people together hasn't been easy. And I think what they're trying to do is to drive them into the official zones, like the official van zone and stuff like that, which, to be quite honest with you, is a little bit corporate, and not a lot of people necessarily want to be driven into fan zones. So there's a lot of fans that are going onto individual bars, which are hotel bars around the place, which again for me is a little bit corporate as well. But you don't have that individuality, and it's been hard to just try and find things to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, they've tried too hard in some ways. I mean, it's like this fan park that we're in at the moment. It's just too big. They've kind of tried to go over the top with what they're trying to achieve, and instead of creating something that's got atmosphere, they've created something that's too big for its own good. And you look back at, like we were talking before, you look back at Rio, it's a massive city. They had one fan zone. It was on Copacabana Beach. Everyone knew where to go. If you didn't want to go in the fan zone, then
easy to get to as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and everything spread from there. So you go down, you decide whether you wanted to be in the fan zone. If you didn't, there were loads of fans chilling out on the beach. It was easy to connect with people, and then from there you spread out into different bars or little restaurants around the place, and everybody found each other and had a good time. But where we are now, it's almost like there's a well, it's a big city. It's a small country, but it's a big city. So you come out somewhere like we are today, once you've been dropped off and you walk in, you're 10 miles from the rest of Doha, and there's suddenly it's a big decision as to whether you really want to go somewhere else and try and find something else to do. So they've kind of tried to stretch this thing across different parts of Doha, and I think it was a mistake. They needed to have one central zone, make it really clear where they wanted all the fans to go, and then everybody would have got themselves together and found it a lot simpler to have a good time. But at the end of the day, we're out, we're having a nice time in nice weather, lots of nice people around, and it's a damn sight better than sitting at home in England watching the World Cup in the dark and the rain. So you know what, it's nice, and we're all together and we're going to enjoy it.
And he's not rubbing it in, actually. He's just sort of stating a few facts there as well. Let's just go back to the match. You came out for the USA game. Again, England versus USA. The last time we played them was in 2010 it's in Rustenburg, actually. It was in Rustenburg. We didn't do particularly well there as well. I think Rob Green was in goal. I think there's a bit of a goalkeeping fluff, if I remember rightly, in that match, and I think that was a draw as well. Our first match in the World Cup there. In fact, our first two games in that South Africa World Cup were draws before we actually eked to win in the last one and sort of snuck through at the last minute. But this game was probably a slightly different game to that one. I mean, USA, obviously, they needed to come out with all guns blazing on this one, and there's an argument to say that maybe we underestimated the USA a little bit. They came out all guns blazing. There's an argument to say that they won the midfield battle. Mason Mount, there's a couple of players they didn't have the games that we expected them to, and the USA, I mean, they had a massive chance in the first half, and there's an argument to say that they could have gone in first half ahead, and they could have possibly won that game if they did.
Yeah, I've got to say, I mean, to be fair, end of the day, got to be quite happy with the draw because it was the most we deserved. If anyone was going to come out of that game with a win, then you have to say USA probably just about edged it, although draw was probably the fair result overall. But you know what? A couple of days to sit back and sort of take it all in. And I'm kind of looking and thinking, it's a sign of how far we've come. We're unhappy at the fact that after two games of the World Cup, we've already qualified from the group. And maybe,
pretty much,
yeah. Well, more or less, and maybe as England fans, we need to stop and think that's not happened to us for quite a while. So it's quite nice to actually be in this position where it's been really comfortable. We started well. First game was so good that the second game, where we've actually got a point and we've qualified, we're all disappointed in it. But you know what? What we're seeing in this World Cup is that we're underestimating a lot of these other sides around the world. As Belgium's found out, as poor Japan found out today when they'd got a great win over Germany in the first game, they go and get done by Costa Rica in the second game. And we can't just assume that sides like USA are going to be teams that you can turn up against, and just because you beat Iran, you're going to go and beat the USA as well. You've got to earn your right to get through to the next stage. At the end of the day, we're there. We've now got a game against Wales, which is more or less a case of where do we finish first or second, and now we can go and start looking forward to the second round and hopefully the quarterfinals, and hopefully the performances will be better after that.
So coming back to the game itself, I mean, you know, you go to the PR person, you go to the TV person, and you give all the, you know, you give the lines. You say, you know, it's a game of two halves. At the end of the day, we didn't lose. You know, we're through to the next round, and you know, and that satisfies the press and that satisfies the story. But you know, Gareth Southgate now goes back in the dressing room and he sits with his coaches, and he has to be a little bit more critical and truthful with themselves about that game. What exactly wasn't good about that game? What went wrong, and what needs to be done better?
That's a difficult question. I'm not sure I can answer it, to be honest. I mean, we just seem to lack a little bit of... We didn't have the dynamic passing, the dynamic play, the sense of urgency and movement that we had in the first game. And I think the USA closed us down better. They made life a bit more difficult for us. And if anything, they kind of put us under the kind of pressure at the start of that second half, particularly where they had 5 or 6 corners in a row, where it felt like they put us under the kind of pressure we were expecting us to be able to put them under. It's hard to say when you stood at the game and you're kind of taking it all in. It's hard to see where we were losing the battles. It didn't feel like we were doing well in midfield. Not really quite sure why, to be honest. I mean, Bellingham was fantastic in the first game. We took him off yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. You know, maybe they did a job on him and we didn't know quite how to react when they closed down his effectiveness in the game. But just all over the pitch, you know, Kane looked tired. He didn't really get into it. On the wide areas, we didn't really have the impact. It was just disappointing overall, wasn't it, as a performance?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, in the second half, you know, Jordan Henderson came on. There's a lot of people moaning about that. Substitutes, you know, they're expecting something that maybe a little bit more creative in midfield after you've taken some midfielders out of the picture. I'm watching in front of me. Somebody's doing some strange dancing. Actually, it's thrown me off completely. Actually, Mason Mount. Anyway, you know, and Jordan Henderson comes on, and a lot of people were saying, you know, well, that really sums things up for England, who could have gone to kill the game, but instead he's put Jordan Henderson on. Now, for me. And you know, and if you want to check it out as well, I did an interview on the BBC. If you can check it out on Instagram, Billy the B99, BALLYTHEBEE99 as well. I did a little TV interview on the BBC News as well. And my view was that, you know, first of all, you know, we need to make sure that we get out this group. Okay, and sometimes managers make decisions which aren't going to be crowd pleasers as well. And Gareth Southgate, yes, I think he is. You know, he does play safe sometimes, but especially in the World Cup, sometimes you have to play safe to make sure you get out the group. And for him, I think that he didn't want to lose the game. He certainly didn't want to lose the game. We were losing the midfield battle, and I think if anything, he just thought, if I put Henderson inside here, he may give us a little bit more just in midfield, just to sort of steady the ship a little bit. And the thing is that I think in the second half, the USA did not have nearly as big a grip on the game in the second half as they did in the first half, and I think Jordan Henderson did a job in to say that we quelled that, we lessened their chance of scoring a goal. We only need a point in this one. We'll be happy with that, and then we'll bring on Wales when it comes. But interesting as well, because Jordan Henderson is one of the old school, as it is. I suppose Maguire, is Maguire seen as one of the old school? I suppose he kind of is. I know he's one of the favourites as well. Can you see sometimes why he might decide to choose the old school, the sort of old reliables, when you want to decide that you want to eke out a result?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, there's a lot to be said for experience in these games, and I think something that was noticeable was in the last 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not making excuses for us, but there wasn't a sense of urgency of, oh, there's only 15 minutes to go, we must get a goal here. There seemed to be a sense within the side of, you know what, maybe we wanted to win the game, but the most important thing is not to lose the game. And with 10, 15 minutes to go, we seemed like we were quite happy to take our time, take the result if 0-0 was what it was going to be. Personally, as a fan, I'd like to see us maybe bring Foden on for Mount. I'd like to see him bring Grealish on a little bit earlier, because I thought he livened us up a little bit. But really, you know, at the end of the day, the management and the players, they maybe see it a different way, and they're content with the fact that, you know, priority one is to try and win the game, but almost as important as that is not to lose it. And bringing Henderson on, it did the job perfectly well, didn't it? And he's a quality player, you know, you can't argue with Henderson. He might not excite you in the way Grealish is going to excite you, but he does his job, and he's always done well for England. He never lets us down, and maybe he's a safer bet than bringing Foden on to try and win the game. You bring Henderson on to make sure you don't lose it.
Yeah. And what about the experience, the sort of the match day experience, or even the experience, you know, going up there on the metro, you know, getting on the bus, you know, I mean, just to let you know as well, we bought our brought our Be Together flag. We had Brentford flags out today with Brentford in full effect. Obviously, we're wearing our England gear. Also brought our Be Together rainbow flag as well in support of the LGBT cause as well. You know, not going out there to cause offence to the Qataris as well. We just were there to show our support as well. Took a couple of photographs in the fan in the bar beforehand. We were in the Radisson beforehand, which actually went down really well. A lot of fans supported us and they tipped a hat and said, fair play, lads and lasses, for actually kind of do that. Just took the photograph. I must admit though, when I got to the stadium as well, we got through security and they asked me to take my flag out my pocket and they saw the rainbow flag. There was a lot of queries going around. I got queried about 10 different police officials as well, and they got taken off me and they were measuring it up and everything like that, and they confiscated from me actually because it apparently had too many colours on it. We know what that all means, but in the end I managed to convince them that it was a B Cameroon flag, a Cameroony B flag, and so they gave it back to me, so I had the flag inside the stadium anyway. But I'm just wondering about you, how is your experience? How are you feeling the tubes, the metro vibe? I mean, it's all very clean and very sort of kind of clinical, and it's right mad having sort of lots of fans on like every single train and tram that you get onto as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange because ultimately they've chucked money at this and the stuff they've built, the metro is great, you can't really argue with it. The buildings around this place are fantastic, the beach areas look really nice. There's a lot of good things about here. I think maybe they just haven't thought certain things through from a fan experience perspective. So that stadium that we went to the other night, the stadium itself, absolutely wonderful. You know, you really can't knock it. It's as great a football stadium as you're ever going to see, really. But getting there and getting out of there, getting out actually wasn't as bad as getting there, was it? But the bus operation, they put dozens and dozens, hundreds of buses on. You're kind of wondering where they're getting all these buses from. So, you know, it's not like they haven't put the effort in. They've put in all the effort to get you the buses there. The buses were brand new, beautiful condition. You know, they've really gone to the trouble, but then they couldn't get you off the motorway into the ground. And it's those little bits of experience that then mean you're rushing at the last minute to get into the ground, and you shouldn't have had that experience. And again, the flag thing, you just think they're trying to stop a problem that doesn't need to be stopped. Fans are having a nice time, they're trying to make a bit of a gesture, have a photograph with a flag. Do they really need to come down on that? And they're not heavy-handed, they're very polite. You know, one thing I would say is that all the local people have been very nice. And even when we saw a policeman come up and speak to an England fan in the ground, he was the most polite and low-key policeman I think I've ever come across at a football game. So they're not doing anything kind of wrong, but sometimes they're a bit misjudged in what they're trying to take issue with. And I think the flag thing was an example of that. And there's almost this sense that they've got workers in there who've been told, you see one of those, you've got to do something about it. And I'm not convinced the people themselves are really that bothered to do something about it, but the scene has been set, there's been this whole controversy around it, and now it's become a bit of a point that maybe they could have just let go and everybody would have been a lot happier if they'd let it go.
Yeah, I mean, and the policeman did say, when I asked him, why are you taking it off me? He says, FIFA told me to. And I said, what, FIFA told you to take my flag away? Tell me why. And he goes, because it's got too many colours on it. And I just kind of went, okay. I said to her. So anyway, should we move on? Listen, we got Reg in the house as well. And like I said to you, Reg's first game as well. And she's been there for a few days now. She's sort of taken to a couple of days. The first day she went to the Brazilian, the post-Brazilian fan experience, which you talked about. I think you talked about that before the Wales game, and then we went to the Wales game, and then we've had a couple of experiences. We went to the Mexico party as well. There's a Mexico party actually right next to here. They built this hotel next to us, which looks like a ship. It just looks like a boat. You know, we actually went to a shopping centre yesterday, which was the most ridiculously large shopping centre. We were there at 12:30 at night. It closed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's one of those shopping centres where just like, you know, the area we're in would like hold the whole of Brent Cross, or like, you know, or one of those massive shopping centres in London, and it was just like one small area. These massive places. It's all very, 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 very different, and it's just very big and very bling, and it's very money, and money does definitely talk out here, and I suppose it's just one of those things where I know a lot of my friends have said that they didn't feel included, so they haven't come out here because the World Cup wasn't talking to them. And I think the view that they thought is that they thought it's going to be far too expensive and they're not going to be afraid to come here. The one thing I will say is that this World Cup is actually probably quite affordable, because once you get out here, the accommodation, if you've got an accommodation like us, it's 60 quid a night each. to go and eat out. We came back and we had what did we have again? We had a shawarma actually last night. We had a shawarma. I just had a little Thai thing as well the other day. We've had traditional food, and you can eat for £2, £3, £4, £5, £6. So you can eat fairly reasonably. The one thing that is expensive is beer. It's £7, £8, £9 for a beer out here. So. But there's a lot of people that don't drink, or they can limit their drink, or they just don't have to drink. So if you don't have that takes out a lot of your budget. To get a taxi out here, £2, £3, £4 to actually go quite a long way as well. I mean, we went really far today, and the taxi came in at about a tenner, I think it was. So that just kind of gives you an idea. So technically, it is actually, I think this would have been affordable to people, but they were put off, knowing the fact that it possibly may not be affordable, but also the messaging I don't think was strong enough with people. I don't think that they gave the right message, and also some of the accommodation, like I said to you, the container that I stayed in at 150, 160 quid a night, that was far too expensive. We just went to just beside here are the tents that you've seen. They've got a tent village, and we actually went down there. I'll probably post that up on my Instagram tomorrow, Billy the B99 as well, because we did a little video thing where we posted up on there, and literally it's just like a little these plastic tents, tiny little things, $150 a night. Absolutely, that's a complete rip-off as well. Just things like that. That's not right. That's not right that they shouldn't be doing that. They should be making those places more affordable for more fans, to make the World Cup even more diverse, because I think that's when you get that elitism and the view that this World Cup is a bit more of an elitist World Cup for people that can afford it. But anyway, I've got Reg the Blade in the house. How you been enjoying your first few days in Qatar?
Yeah, so I'm on day 4 now. We've been to 4 different areas on each of the days, and yeah, I mean, architecturally this place is incredible. If you love modern architecture and crazy buildings that you couldn't imagine could actually happen in real life, then come here. I mean, the vision of this city is, wow, they've got a lot of money and they're spending it, basically. I still want to get under the veneer though. I want to get into the culture of Qatar. I've spoke to probably one Qatarian since I've been here in 4 days, because everyone who serves you and you meet through the hospitality, through the apartment, the different venues you go to, not one of them is Qatari. So I feel like I'm on a mission to meet a few more Qataris and find out what makes them tick. So that's kind of what I want to do while I'm here. I mean, as the guys have said, the ground was wow, something else, absolutely spectacular, and actually probably worth the grief getting there and back in the main. Bit disappointed with the result. I feel a bit gutted I missed that first game. I got to watch it in my lunch hour as well as still at work in England, but I'm here, I'm enjoying it. I've got high hopes for Tuesday night. If we get through, then that's that hurdle done. And in a way, I guess Gareth Southgate, he's looked around this place, there's loads of cruise ships. Maybe he's just steering our ship through to the next round, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, I'm making the best of it. I'm curious, I'm having a good time. Don't like the fact it's 10 quid for a bottle of bud in this place we're in today, but I've had very few. And actually, I'm happy to have a coffee and just chill out, really. It's not going to be one of them crazy World Cups where you get drunk. You kind of just need to accept that and just make the best of every day, really.
I'm going to ask that question as well. Again, I mean, talking about sort of kind of the culture around football. I mean, I don't know if I think I might have mentioned this more in one of my TV interviews. Like I said to you, go and check out my Instagram, Billy the B99, and I've got, like I said, the BBC interview that I did a couple of days ago up there, and I was trying to explain how there are lots of kind of areas where, because basically you can't find a centralised area where everyone goes. If you go to the Portugal Euros, everyone's in the square or in the Barrios Altos or in the Docas, by the water. So those are like the 3 main areas where people go to, and if you go there, you can hang out and you can get a real vibe, and there's little bars in the street. You can just find whatever you want to do, food places, and that's kind of what people did. Here you haven't got that, because what you have got is that it's very controlling. And again, I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, that's just the way that it is. They've got this hire card where it's almost like a sort of passport thing that you have to get when you come in the country, and you're meant to show it everywhere. You go inside a bar, they scan it, they take photographs of it, they kind of almost like know where you're going everywhere. So it's quite controlling what they do it. They've also controlled it to make sure that the fans are going to be either in this fan park here or Al Bayat, is it Al Bayat or the other Al Bidder fan park, which is in the centre of town. And maybe 2 or 3 places where they're saying, don't you worry, you'll go and enjoy yourselves there. But that's not how the World Cup really works. So what a lot of fans have done, and this, like I said to you, what makes me laugh, when I've all of a sudden we've gone, where do we go? Somebody goes, oh, let's go to some Irish bar at the top of some hotel. We couldn't find it. We've opened the door into this bar, and there's like 700 Mexicans in this tiny little bar going absolutely bonkers. So everyone's finding their own little zone that they're feeling like, makes them feel a little bit more at home. And yes, they may be hotel bars, but that is actually kind of working for them, and that's the thing that I think is most World Cup for me. I mean, I know that you, Blazer, you haven't actually seen that quite as yet, because we've actually come to more of these places here, the outdoor places where we get a little bit of an outdoor sun and getting a little different vibe, and we might do that maybe tomorrow or the day afterwards, actually, before the England game, actually kind of catch up there. It's going to be quite strange, because obviously a lot of teams are going to be on their way home by the time we play the third matches, but just coming back to the vibe of this World Cup, and trying to find you're saying that you were talking about how you're just still trying to find the soul of Qatar, and also trying to find the soul of the World Cup. Do you think, because drinking culture, like I said to you, is very, very, I think, important around football? I mean, I knew that anyway, but coming here, I realised, like I said to you, it's not only us, it's everybody. The Mexicans, absolutely going to the bar, loads of them drinking, Argentinians, the Danish, the Croatians, everybody, they're inside a bar, they're having a drink. It might not be 50 drinks, it might be 2 or 3, but that's how they watch their football. And you remove that from football, you remove quite a big part of kind of what football's about. It doesn't mean that people are going to go smash the place up. It just means that it's how they kind of socialise in and around football. And if you remove that, they're almost like thinking, where do we go now? Going to these corporate zones doesn't really work as well. It really doesn't. Now, I'm just wondering as well, the England fans were saying to me the atmosphere isn't as good, right, in the England end. Quite a few England fans said that to me. Do you think it's because they don't have as much drink before the match? And I'm just, it's a straight up question. Do you think so?
I don't know. I saw England fans drinking plenty in the Radisson before the previous game. I just think maybe just a bit moody, because they don't really like the way it operates out here. We had to travel a long way to the ground. It took nearly 3 hours. It was a little bit frustrating. I think, I don't know, I can't explain it. It just felt flat. It felt flat at the United States game.
But surely, I'm not. What's interesting is that I don't drink in the ground in England at all,
no,
and you know that as well. You've taken to Wembley and you've bought me a beer, and I'm like, ooh, well, what's this? Because I'm not used to doing that. Because I think functional drinking, when you go to a football game and then they put you behind a stand and you've got to goggle a drink in 10 minutes before the game kicks off again, because you're not allowed to bring it to a seat, is not really sociable. I like sociable drinking, but I do drink when I come to World Cups in the ground, because you can get a drink, before the game that you bring to your seat, and then you have that. You watch the game while you have a drink. You don't have to, you don't have to have loads. You just have a drink during the game. Then at half time, you go down there, you get a second bite, you wash it, you drink it during the game again. And I like that. And it's kind of creates a little bit of a vibe. And people do actually get to the stadium early, and they hang out, they have a drink, they chat to each other. Now, I know that they had the ban about 2 or 3 days beforehand, which stopped that. Now, that's kind of, for a start, it seems to have stopped people coming down to the games earlier, because people are going, we're not going to get to the stadium until the very last minute, because there's no point, because there's nothing really to do there as such. I mean, I know there's some people that like to get there 3 hours before, but in general, people are getting there later. They're doing their socialising in town, and then they're getting the coaches out there. And then when they get down there, like I said to you, it hasn't kind of, this thing, but it hasn't just... They can't quite get on the same vibe as they would do, because you're not feeling that vibe. Yeah,
they definitely didn't seem very happy. I'll put it like that. There was a bit of singing. Obviously, you've got the band there as usual, but it didn't seem as happy as it normally would, I guess. But we'll see what the Wales game brings. I mean, it's not over yet, is it? We've got that third game to go, and we'll see. I mean, I'm hearing that a lot of fans have actually gone out to like Tenerife to go in the sunshine and watch the World Cup from there. So I don't know. I wonder if they're having a good time. Who knows? But I'm having a great time personally. I've just had a game of football with a bunch of kids at half time for the previous game, and it was a laugh. We had Argentinian, we had Spanish, we had Jordan, we had French, and obviously the Blades. You know, we won, of course, but no, it was great. The kids absolutely loved it. In fact, they all wanted to come back at full time for another game, but parents have dragged them home because it's getting a bit late over here. Yeah. So that's the sort of thing I love about the World Cup, that spontaneity. And I think that's what's been a bit hard up to now, but I'm determined to find it. I'm determined to make it happen, because I think this is what makes your holiday as well. Them mad little things that you do that are just fun and a laugh, and with people from all over the world, and a chance to just hang out.
And talking about other fans, I mean, like, you know, we kind of, even though we can get an Uber or a taxi or whatever we're going to call the other one, that Kareem, isn't it? Kareem as well, which we call, and we can get the cab that picks you up and then it can take you wherever you're going. We've actually sort of preferred the opportunity of taking the taxi, dropping us to the station so we can get on the train, because you sort of kind of see all sorts of characters, like I'm saying. So you've been talking to, and everyone from the world is around in Doha. It's funny. So you get on a train and you've got people literally from all over the world, from India, Pakistan, you know, Saudi Arabia, Australia, you know, Japan, and literally all on the same train carriage. It's absolutely bonkers. You've spoken to a lot of people from different places, haven't you? Who have you been speaking to?
Oh God, I mean, I'm loving the Saudi fans. They're just so lovely. What beautiful people, and just so happy and bouncing around the tube with their drums, singing their songs, and people are joining in and can't understand what they're singing about, but you're clapping and singing with them all the same, you know. It's just great. It's absolutely wonderful. And loads of people have spoken to us on the tubes. It's actually, that might be where the World Cup's at this time. Maybe it's on the tube, and maybe I've found it. But everyone is so friendly, and it really restores your faith in human beings. I think us Brits need kind of cheering up right now after the state of our country. So it's quite nice just come and put a smile on and have some warm, friendly conversations with people. So yeah.
And just sort of, I mean, just coming back to it, and like I said to you, people are asking, you know, and I'm giving an opinion, and I'm, you know, lucky enough to have a podcast to put things out there to give a personal opinion on certain things, and I'm just giving my view. And as I know, I've not come out here to be critical on anything. You know, a lot of people have been very critical about the World Cup being given to Qatar. I've already stated my point of view that I wasn't, you know, particularly happy with Qatar getting the World Cup. You know, but you know, if it was, you know, Australia, whoever like that, who'd got it in a similar way, I'll be equally as unhappy as them getting it. But now the fact that they've got it, I've come out here to see, okay, let us show you what you can do, because it's happening. It's not going to go away, you know. And also there are things that are happening in this country, you know, which people all know about. What was going to be the legacy of this World Cup afterwards? Would us fans being here and the spotlight being on this country, and certain things being said and certain things being done, change things in the future in Qatar? Not saying we'll change things massively all in one go, but will that also just twig somebody in somebody's head to say, actually, to be quite honest with you, you know, we moving on forward, we may need to do this or we may need to do that. There's a very good, interesting conversation with a Saudi guy, or an English guy who lived in Saudi Arabia on the last podcast, episode 2 as well. You know, go and check that out. You know, where he was saying how he lives in Saudi, but he's saying like Qatar's only been going for 90 years. He said that this country was literally, you know, tents and a desert sort of 90 years ago. So they've actually, you know, got oil money before, you know, in a very short space of time they've got to this. Okay, so, you know, it's not necessarily very refined the way they got from 0 to 60 very, very quickly. So he believes that they are changing, but, you know, it's almost like the time period is very small compared to the rest of the world, and he believes it's going to happen. And maybe an incident like this, maybe something like the World Cup, will make certain things accelerate, maybe even a little bit faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very easy for us to sit there and criticise other cultures and other nations, and yeah, there are some untoward things going on, but hey, Britain hasn't exactly got a shiny past to wax lyrical about, has it? And Britain's learnt a lot of lessons even in the last 50, 60 years, you know, and you know, we still don't have full equality yet, so let's not sit too high up on our perch and judge. Let's give them a chance, you know, let's see what their response is to this, how they react to it, what changes the result. I don't know the answer to that, but I'd like to think that they come out and they mix with us more, and we get to meet them more, and we talk to them and we have conversations, and we just increase understanding and, you know, and tolerance between the nations, because, you know, I'm sure, you know, they're lovely people, but I just want to meet more of them and find that out for myself. I don't want to read it in the media and believe what the media says, because let's face it, they're never right.
That's right, never right. So listen, the Germany are going to be playing Spain in a bit, but I'm going to go for a little walk and talk, as I like to do, and I'm going to chat to some fans in the little fan zone area here now to see what people have to say, where they come from, what they're doing, and what their vibe is. So, yes, I'll be back in a second. So here we are in the fan zone here as well. Like I said to you, people from all over the world, and listen, being a Brentford fan as well, of course, I had to come up and talk to somebody from Senegal. Senegal, you know what I'm saying? So the Senegal posse in the house, Brian Mbeumo, big player he's made his debut for Senegal, first game in the World Cup as well, which is good. And I know you've come over. So have you come all the way over from Senegal for this?
Yes, already. Yes, I'm very happy to be here, to see many people all over the world, to talk about football, our passion. And I'm very happy to be here.
I mean, this is wicked. I mean, against Senegal, big team. I mean, I saw Senegal play. I'm pretty sure in the in the World Cup Japan 2002. Yes. I think Senegal played Ireland as well. Yes, and I was at that game as well.
World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, we are very proud of our team. They do their best, and we are behind them for the next game. And inshallah, they will win.
That's right. I mean, so just tell me a bit about Senegal. I mean, obviously the African teams, you know, there's certain powerhouses in Africa. You got your Ghana, you know, you had Nigeria who've dipped off now a little bit, like, you know, and then you got your North African teams like, you know, Morocco, who did very well today as well. North African. How is Senegal sitting as opposed in the African teams? How well are they doing?
I think that Senegal is a very big team. We are champions of Africa, so we should to be proud of this title and not to be afraid about any team, and do our best to win the next game.
And tell us, what are the players that we should be looking out for?
Iliman Ndiaye. He's a very young player, but very good player. He has good and big potential, and we hope that he will be titular at the next game, inshallah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a big player, Melio. Now, who else? And any other players that we should be looking out for, other than Brian Mbeumo, of course?
Oh, yes, of course, and Ghana Gay.
Actually, no. Mbeumo, what am I talking about? Mbeumo is at Cameroon. He's Cameroon.
We also go to the match tomorrow to see Cameroon against Serbia.
That's why I was confused, because you were going to the same game as me. You were going to the Cameroon game, and I said Brian Mbeumo.
Because we are supporting all the country from Africa. Also, we are very proud and very happy for the victory of Morocco this afternoon. And I swear them the best.
Yeah. You wish them all the best. And I'm just wondering, I mean, how long have you been here, and how long are you staying?
تقريبا 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks.
And where are you staying?
Here in the Qatar Island.
In the tents over here. Are you staying in tell us, how are the tents? Because I've seen the tents today.
Very not comfortable at all. Only for sleeping. And very expensive.
Yes,
that's the bad thing in the cup, in the World Cup.
Yeah.
How we say
it's very expensive. It's too expensive. It's
too expensive, and the place to sleep not comfortable.
Okay, so and that's interesting, because like I said to you, we went to have a look at those tents, because we went down in the shipping containers, which was down in the other way as well, which was probably a little bit more comfortable, and at least you can lock the door and you had your own private bathroom. But that was quite expensive as well, you know. And I think that, and we were talking about this. And listen, not a moment, but you've come to see your team,
yes.
And you're not the richest person in the world. I'm not the richest person. Most of the people are not. You still come out here to support your team, and we think that for them to have made something like that, if they'd made it and it was cheaper, if that tent is probably about $30, not $150. If it's $30, you would say, okay, fair enough. I'll pay $30, but $150 a night for those tents is not good.
Very expensive. But in general, Qatar has made a good organization for this Mondial. Many buses are available to go to stade and free. The transport are free also. We can go by metro, by bus, and that's good.
Yeah, that's good. And so, listen, I'm going to ask a question then. Senegal.
Yes.
Mondial. How far are you going to go?
Inshallah, we will win. We will win. Inshallah, we will
That's
win.
right. Of course, that's always going to be the question. That's going to always be the answer. We will win, and that's what I love about the World Cup. No matter what team who you see, never mind if it's Morocco, Japan, whoever it may be, they will always win. I know your friend here as well. What do you think?
The French Cup. I was born in France. I support Senegal team and also the French because I was born in France.
You're French as well.
Yes.
So you can't lose then, because you know if I'm saying you can't lose if Senegal go out, then you got France. So it's a win-win for you, isn't it?
Yes, of course. But do you remember the match France-Senegal in 2002?
Oh yes,
Yes, of course.
First game.
Yes, of course. We win for Senegal. We lost for the French, but it's the same, you know.
Yes.
I Frenchman, I a Senegal man.
Yeah.
It's the Senegal team win. I'm very happy, and if the French team win, I'm very happy also.
And is this your first World Cup?
Yes, it's the first World Cup for me, but for my brother, it's the second World Cup.
Yes, the second.
Which was the one before?
In 2018.
Oh, in Russia.
In Russia,
How did you find Russia? I mean, I had a lot of fun in Russia.
Good. The organization was good also, and the hotel was cheaper.
It's much cheaper, isn't it?
Much cheaper.
And there's more people in the streets, and just, you know, you can find more people converging and just
Yes.
a lot more things that are happening in and around everywhere you were.
Yes.
And the fan zones was busy as well.
Yes, I remember in 2018 it was very beautiful. Many people all over Russia. It was amazing, very amazing.
So listen, Senegal, and I got it all wrong, Cameroon, Senegal. Of course, I'm not going to mix them up, you know what I'm saying? But Senegal, good luck for this World Cup.
Good luck for England too.
Thank you very much, and then hopefully I will catch up with you in the knockout stages sometime.
Okay, no problem. No
okay.
problem. Nice to meet you.
Nice one.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, we got a Qatari in the house. Well, actually, no, we don't. We got a Lebanese. You're Lebanese? Lebanese in the house, living in Qatar, supporting Germany. So we got a whole combination going here. You got your little shisha. Going as well, which is all good. Tell you something. I've been to. What's your name? Betsula. Hi, I'm Billy as well. And listen, I've been to Lebanon as well. I've been to Lebanon. I've flown into Lebanon. I had a wicked time. I went to the Sky Bar in Lebanon. You know the Sky Bar?
Of course.
The Sky Bar. That's an incredible bar, which is this bar. It is the best bar, isn't it?
in Lebanon, yeah.
I had one of my artists perform there, actually, Jay Shawnee performed there, and we went there and we said to them, okay, where's the stage? And they said, there is no stage. You just perform on the bar. You just form on the bar, and I'm just like, wow. And this bar is like overlooking the sea on the rock, and it's got no roof or anything like that. And it was absolutely amazing. And we were there dancing, and we were dancing away till 3 or 4, and everyone was going crazy in this bar in Lebanon.
For the nightlife.
Honestly, if you go to Beirut, it's unbelievable. And then somebody said to me something which was really kind of like threw me a little bit. He goes, so does Lebanon is your views changed of Lebanon that when you thought before you came here? And I said, well, no. I mean, I had a very open mind when I came here. And he goes, have a look around. What's everyone doing? I said, everyone's really partying. They're going really crazy. He goes, yes. It's amazing how people go crazy when there's the fear of bombs dropping on them. Yeah. Is what he said.
We love life. That's our best thing known about us. We really love life.
Yeah, and I know that. But that when he said that to me, I was a little bit like, whoa, like, you know. But is that really how you think?
Of course, we are very positive people. Even when we have the hardest things happening, we keep on laughing.
And Beirut, I mean, I'm flying back via Beirut, so I'm going to be spending a little bit of time on my way to Beirut and then coming back again as well. Tell me a little bit about your city.
About Lebanon? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I haven't been there for 2 years now after the port explosion, but Lebanon is always in my heart. And but of course before I used to go always, and it's amazing. People are friendly. You know, we have around 10 million Lebanese around the world, so we are open to other cultures. Yes, and I'm here now today for, I want to see Germany winning. I hope so. I've been supporting them since I was 4 years. Imagine, and I waited here in Qatar just to see this World Cup one day live.
I see, and this is the thing. I mean, obviously the World Cup being in Qatar has brought the World Cup to you, which maybe it may not have done if it was somewhere else in South Africa or Japan. So this is probably a benefit of the World Cup being in the Middle East, because it's brought the World Cup to people in the Middle East, which is something that they've never had before.
Yes, and thanks for Qatar for this, for bringing this to the Arab world, to the Middle East. They really did a lot of effort to do this successful event. We are proud of Qatar. I'm a proud resident here for 11 years now. And I wish that today Germany will win.
Yeah. So I mean, you've moved to Qatar from Lebanon, and I mean, what do you, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do?
Well, I work in exhibition and conference management at Next Fairs. Yeah. We have different shows.
Okay. And the thing that we've noticed is that, I mean, we've come over here, and again, you teach me because we're just learning, and I'm just sort of seeing. There's a lot of people. Everybody that we've met is not from Qatar. I mean, yes. Everybody that works, everybody that we've touched and worked and spoken to, from the taxi drivers to the shopkeepers to the people cleaning to the people, the security guards, to everywhere in the fan zones and everywhere, every single person they've told it, from Kenya and from Italy and from all over the world. And they seem to, obviously there's a big immigration issue where they have people coming in to work in various industries in this country as well. I mean, again, this is, you teach people back at home, just tell them how this works, how this goes.
Imagine there are only around 300,000 Qataris in this country that is hosting more than 2 million residents. So the expats are more than the locals, and we all feel home. We all love this country because of the security we feel, and it's and all everything that is here is really good. Like I told you, I've been here for 11 years. Trust me, the women here are very well protected. We have a lot of rights. It's not as the media are talking. We have. This country is hosting maybe more than 80 different countries, nationalities working here.
So I mean, I'm going to ask you, and I'm not being. Excuse me if it sounds like I'm being really stupid by asking these questions, but I'm only asking them because I don't know the answer. So, what do the Qataris do in this country? Because they're not doing the jobs that I've said. The girls are all dancing around me, and it's really quite good actually. What do they Qataris? What do they do?
Well, Qataris, what do they work? You mean?
Yeah.
Well, they work in different industries. Of course, majority of them are businessmen. They have their own business, but a lot of them also work in government, and a lot of them are very high educated. They are contributing a lot to the expansion of this country and the development. They are investing. They love their country. And all of this development you are seeing is because of these people, their dream. They want to achieve something, and they're doing it very fast.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a question again, and forgive me because I'm only asking the question because it's questions being asked all around. I mean, Qatar has obviously come under a lot of spotlight because of the building of the stadium. And then they're saying that a number of workers died because of the building of the stadium, and that's what they're saying about some of the human rights issues which have probably been ignored maybe within the country. Qatar denies the fact that says that it's been exaggerated a lot by the media. I'm just wondering, and I'm not trying to kind of, I'm not trying to be negative, and I'm not trying to be negative, but it'd be nice to just know what the perspective is for somebody that lives here about that. But also, to my point is, I'm just saying that, listen, sometimes, countries, this country is obviously expanding very quickly. It's gone from nowhere to somewhere very, very quickly. How do you think that maybe things may change within the next 5 years? Because that's quite important. There's two questions here.
Okay, so as I told you, I've been here for around 11 years. Every year they're changing some rules. They are updating and developing to reach to the very international standards. And for regarding, yes, those labors, the number were very exaggerated, because here, trust me, if any incident, simple incident happen at work, they will do a lot of investigation and they will stop everyone around. And so we are not used to hear this kind of story. What I know is that only 3 laborers had this incident, and because of these laborers, unfortunately, who died, they changed also more. They added more restricting rules to avoid this. Anyone can do mistakes, especially when you are trying to develop the process of the work and the country, and they are moving forward so fast. And as I told you, on a yearly basis, they are making their rule better and more better environment for working force and everything.
Okay, and I'm just going to find, because I know the game's starting in a minute. Thank you very much for answering those questions. And like I said to you, I'm not being disrespectful. I was just trying to find out information for you. Back to the Germany game now. Now the Germany game is now this is a big game for Germany, because you lost that first game
before the quarter-final or semi-final. So please don't it today.
No, the last World Cup actually they went out straight away in Russia. Don't forget. Remember, they're gonna. Sorry. Yeah. So there's all sorts of squeezing up going on. But however, the game is now starting now. I'm going to ask you, Germany versus Spain, big game. Score prediction.
I think 2-1. 2-1.
To who?
To Germany.
2-1 to Germany. Listen, enjoy the game. Enjoy your shisha. Thank you very much. Enjoy going back to Lebanon when you go back there. Okay, take care. So we're here watching the Spain versus Germany game. I'm here with some Japanese friends who they've been here for the first 2 games. They're going off to Egypt tonight in about 3 or 4 hours, about 4 a.m. And then they're going to come back for the final game. But we're watching that, and I know that Germany went 1-0 up, and that wasn't good for you. Are you very nervous watching this game?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Because if the Germany win this game, so we have no chance, maybe. Yeah. But now the Spain gets the 1 goal, so we are very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed I've seen you shouting, you screaming, you putting your hand over your eyes and everything like this, you know. And still, there's more 50. There's still a long time. There's like 25 minutes to go, so things are looking not too bad.
Yeah, but I hope so. Just the Spain win. Yeah. Maybe 3-0 or 4-0. Yeah.
But it's got to be 0 because Germany have a goal already.
Germany, no goal. Getting better. The Spain's soccer is getting better.
Yeah. So it's 1-1 at the moment now. So you're hoping for 3-1 or maybe a 2-1.
Oh no.
Anything.
2-0. Yeah, maybe. Spain 2-0.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yes, I've lost it because obviously the Germany goal was ruled out.
No, offside.
That's
it was offside.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching it. Right? I'll tell you something. We're not even drinking in here because it's so expensive, and it's 1-0 to Spain. So I noticed you got very excited when that. So yeah, this is mad. So you're very, very happy now.
Yeah.
And Germany on the way out.
Yeah, maybe.
Germany could be on the way out of the competition for the 2nd time in a row, because Russia then went out straight away, didn't they?
Yeah. Maybe the first Spain, second, Japan.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, I, as I told you earlier, I love Japan. I've been to Japan many times. I've been to Owara Reds. I've seen all teams play. Lots of different teams play out in Japan. I was there for the Japan World Cup. I think you're crazy. I've even seen I can't even remember. I'll come back to it actually as well. But I've seen very many teams, Division 2 teams, Division 1 teams play. I've seen the Samba. What's the Samba team again? The Samba team. Antlers. Yashima Antlers. Kashima Antlers as well. I've seen them with the Samba drums. Yeah, because they're Brazilian Samba, because they have many Brazilian fans.
Yes, because the before the customers coach was Zico.
That's right.
So from Brazil.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why.
Right. So I see them. They have the drumming at the game. They have the dancing. They have the singing. Steve Perriman used to manage them as well, but very long ago. He used to be a Brentford manager as well. So I know a lot about Japanese football as well, which is all good. You know, Uwara Reds. I've seen them play as well. I'm not so sure about Uwara Reds, which is all good. But I'm going to leave you to watch this game because I know this is very, very nervous for you. And we'll come back after the final whistle and see if you're still happy, yeah?
Yeah. They changed 3. Yeah. Germany will change 3 players.
Okay, so we'll come back at the final whistle to see if you're still smiling. Okay.
Still not.
This evening. So end of the match, 1-1. Germany, Spain, 1-1. We are the Japanese. The result didn't quite go to plan for you, did it?
No, so
it's not. It's still could be. It's still a little chance for Japan, you know. But it's just very, very unlucky. Like I said to you, obviously you're going to Egypt now, so you're going to enjoy the Egypt trip, and then
you're going to go to. No, I go back to Malaysia.
Oh, you're going back?
I live in Malaysia.
Oh, you live where?
Malaysia.
Valencia?
Yeah.
Oh wow, so you live in Spain?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh wow. So that's quite bad. So listen, enjoy. Listen, all you guys, enjoy yourself. Look at that. But you, Valencia, whereabouts are you in Japan? Where are you from? Where are you from in Japan?
Tokyo.
Are you from Tokyo as well? Listen. Enjoy your World Cup and yourself. You're going off to Egypt, yeah?
Egypt, yes.
Yeah. So enjoy yourselves in Egypt. You enjoy yourself here so far, though, yeah?
Yes.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Good World Cup.
Good World Cup. Yeah.
Last minute, man. You never know. A last minute surprise may come for Japan. Maybe. Fingers crossed. Okay, enjoy your trip. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Listen, we got the boys here. We got the Senegal. We got the Gambia in the house. Senegal, they're very happy they're in the World Cup. Gambia, next time they will be in the World Cup. They will be here. And listen, you boys, I know that you are from Africa, but you now work over here now, and you've been watching the World Cup. Have you enjoyed the World Cup?
Yeah, we are enjoying the World Cup. We enjoying it very much.
Yeah, other than England, what other teams have you been very happy with?
England, Spain. In Senegal, also they play nice, wonderful game.
Senegal?
Yes, last game they play wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they come first half, they come and win 1-0. Second half come at another 2 goal, 3. 3-1.
That's right, 3-1. So it's all on the last game. Do you think Senegal will go through to the next round?
Senegal will go next round, round of 16, inshallah. They will win Ecuador, inshallah. They will win.
That's right. So listen, you boys, I've seen you, and you come out here, but you're working out here in Qatar. How are you enjoying it? How is it for you?
But Qatar here, the time is long. It's very long.
You work long hours?
Yes.
What do you do?
Me, I'm working bad days workers.
You're working where?
Bad day.
A bad day?
Yeah.
What is a bad day?
Daily work.
Okay.
Daily work.
Yeah. Like doing what? Building work or?
Construction.
Construction?
Yeah, construction.
And what are you constructing? What are you building?
We are building housing. Sometimes we go form a road. Yeah.
And how many hours?
Sometimes we work 7 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours. Not depend. Sometimes the Bengali use you. The work is 7 hours. That they use you the overtime and pay only the 7 hours. The overtime you will not see them.
You don't see. And how much you get paid, if you don't mind me asking?
Sometimes you get 90 riyal.
90 riyal. What's 90 riyal? Is again
about £20.
So £20. Well, for a day, for one day.
For only one day.
So you get £20 for one day and working for 9 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, I'm just asking, if you don't mind me asking the question: is it too much, or is the work hard? Is it do they treat you well?
You see what?
Do they treat you? Your boss? They treat you well? Is he working you too hard? Do you find it difficult?
But the work is difficult. Sometimes you have a very simple work. Sometimes you have very hard work. They used to yalla 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 anytime. You know this nar? Only yalla yalla. Anytime yalla 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 yalla.
Okay, I'm going to ask again. I'm just asking because I'm not from here, and it's the question. You've come over to here to work. Is it to find a work?
Yeah.
Is it because it's more work in Qatar than there are back in Gambia? Is that why?
Yes, Qatar is more hard work in Gambia. Gambia, no work. Only go and play football, watch football. Yeah, it's like that, our country. No money there, no work. That's why we come Qatar. We want to make it, but you see, this life is not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Do you send money back to your family as well from here? Is that what you do?
Yes.
If you can.
Yes. Every month I used to try and send. If I have some money, I used to send. But since World Cup start, now 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't get work.
Oh really? What's that?
Yeah, I don't get work.
Why is there no work?
All the work is
Finished?
Stop. Yeah, they stop.
Oh, so all the work was for the World Cup,
Yes.
and now the World Cup's come,
Yes.
then there's no work for anybody. So,
I see after World Cup, maybe work half. After World Cup, inshallah, we expect more work to come.
and does that? So will you? I mean, does that mean will you stay? Go back to Ghana, or will you stay, or will you Gambia, or will you go somewhere else?
No, I will stay. I will stay here. When I see another chance, I will try and go.
So it's about taking an opportunity. Is
Yes. If I have another opportunity to go. If I don't have another opportunity, I will stay and look for. Anytime I will get, I will move, inshallah.
Okay, but you would not go to another country, or
If I have another country, I will go.
But there's nowhere else to go.
Now, I don't see any country. How can I go? I don't have money to go. I will manage it.
So you're sort of stuck. You're stuck here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck here, which is and your friend is the same. You're both the same as well, is it?
Yeah, my friend, we are all in the same room, the same man.
And people that work with you, are they from different countries? Because you were saying there's many people from all over the world, but then they're going to disappear. They're going to go soon. Do you think they're going to leave Qatar after the World Cup, after finish working?
Some people, they're talking, they say after the World Cup, they will go back to home. But me, I don't plan that.
No?
Yeah. My suggestion, after the World Cup, I will stay. If it is good, I will manage it. If it's not good, I will try and go back to my country.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question, because obviously you're working on the construction just to make some money from day to day. But realistically, what would you really like to do if somebody said to you, I want you to work for me, and you've had an opportunity? What would that be?
If I have more better than that construction work, I'll go for that work.
What would you like to do? If somebody says to you, you could do anything here and have another opportunity.
For me,
Yeah.
in my plan for this country,
Yeah.
if I have security job, they pay well.
So you want to play security job?
Yeah, if I have it, and I have a restaurant job, I will go.
So this is the opportunity that you want to move into, and I've seen other people in security jobs that have come over here. So you think that may be something that you can do? Is it hard?
No, it's not hard.
No,
It's not hard.
I mean hard to get into to get a security job.
I don't know. I tried longer days, but
Yeah.
I don't have the job.
Okay, so listen, what I say to you is you're sticking with it, and you are hoping that the things will come. So I'll say good luck to you, and hopefully, like you said to you, your opportunities will come. You know what I'm saying? And I hope so, and I hope you can get some more jobs soon. Back to the football. Who do you think will win the World Cup?
For me, I support Senegal, who will take the World Cup.
And you Senegal boy, you think it's Senegal?
Senegal, yeah.
That's right. Only one team is Senegal. And who will they play in the final?
Senegal and Argentina, the final.
Argentina very lucky. Yeah. They were always on the way out.
Argentina next game they will win, inshallah. I will tell you.
That's right.
I tell that.
That's
right.
Okay.
Inshallah, Argentina Senegal final.
All right. Okay. Listen. Good luck to you. And good talking to you as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And good luck to you, my man. So there we are. Evening done. We're back at the apartment. I said apartment. If you remember earlier on, I was at the shipping containers. We were staying in the shipping containers for a few days. That was that was something to write home about. That's all I can say. And like I said to you, we went up to the tents as well today, which were the cheaper version of the shipping containers as well, pretty much the same price. And that was, oh my God, you don't want to be staying there. That's all I want to let you know. But we are now back at the apartment. We've walked in and the apartment's been cleaned as well. We had somebody's come in. We've been there for a few days, so it's been cleaned and it's nice, and the air conditioning is on, and we've got the TV on, and we're watching the football roundup as well. So it's like, it's like any other sort of kind of holiday if you go to Europe or something like that. It's a really good vibe. So like I said to you, we're giving you all sides of what's happening here in Qatar. I'm with the characters as well. We've just seen the 1-1 draw between Germany and Spain, which has given Germans a new lease of life. They were on their way out, and like I said to you, we were talking to the Japanese when we were talking to them when they were 1-0 up. Even though I didn't know it was 1-0 up at the time. Well, I did know actually, but I was all over the place. And they were really happy, and then tried to talk to them at the end of the game, and they were just like absolutely gutted. So we left them. They're off to Egypt now, but I'm not sure if they're going to come back from Egypt after that, because they were so down in the dumpers, because they thought they were right in there with that one. But that game was again, it was a bit of a marathon. We talked about how this World Cup is quite good in a way, because we went down to the beach at 1 o'clock, just after 1, and we stayed there till midnight. So we were stuck in that fan park for nearly 11 hours. It was a bit of a marathon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but it got better in the evening, didn't it? It feels like one of those places. You get there a little bit too early, it feels very dead, but by the evening, lights go down.
It's like a party, like when you're the first person to turn up a party, and you're sort of in the kitchen there, like on your own, speaking to the person who's running the party, who's very nervous that no one else is going to turn up, for about 4 hours. And then as soon as the other people turn up, he sort of abandons you to go and talk to his real mates, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And they all turned up in numbers towards the end, and the Germany-Spain game certainly felt like it was pretty much at the capacity that they were expecting for it, really. It's not the sort of event where they're trying to get thousands of people all standing together. It's very much they want people sitting, they want people on the mattresses and things they've put out for people, and the seating areas they've put out for people. And it was nice down there, wasn't it, in the end? Yeah. The last game worked really well.
Yeah, it's good. And like I said to you, I spoke to a few people, a few football fans down there as well. And also we spoke to the two lads who'd come over from Africa as well. And I know that you were talking off microphone to them as well. Two nice lads. They're only young as well, weren't they? They looked about 16 or 17 or maybe 18 at the most, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener, wasn't it? Sort of just got talking to them in the street after the game, and obviously one guy was from Gambia, wasn't he? The other from Senegal, and clearly not here just for the World Cup. They were here because of the World Cup, and they would come over to get some work, hadn't they? And it was a bit eye-opening, the kind of hours they're doing and the kind of money they're earning. But yeah, it seemed like nice lads, and you kind of hope that things are okay for them after the World Cup. Once everybody packs up and goes home, you kind of wonder what happens to them, don't you, really?
And tomorrow we had a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. We thought we were going to get our first non-England game tickets. We got some tickets for Cameroon versus Serbia tomorrow, and they were there, and all of a sudden they were plucked from our very, very underneath our legs, whatever it may. The carpet was pulled from under our legs at the very last minute on those. We had 4 tickets for that, and they've been pulled. So looks like we're going to be going back to the Brazilian fiesta, which is actually not a bad thing, actually. We'll be there from midday tomorrow, the Brazilian party, which was excellent last time. So very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I heard all about it last time. Yeah. We were on the way over, so we missed it all. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what the Brazil fans bring to the party, because they're always the best. Well, they're always one of the best, aren't they? They're always good at putting on a good time, and they know how to enjoy themselves.
They know how to enjoy themselves. There's plenty of other fans that also know how to enjoy themselves. I'm saying, let's not go into the stereotypical Brazilian thing, please. They're okay. They're okay. It's cool, actually. No, I've got some good Brazilian mates, as you know, Fernando. But anyway, listen, this is Beesotted Beesotted Pride of West London podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us on all good podcast channels, and don't forget to write a review if you like this podcast, especially if you like the Brazil and the Beesotted in Qatar version of Beesotted as well. Please write us a lovely review and just tell people, oh look, they do other things and talk about Brentford. And also don't forget to buy us a beer, beesotted.com/beer, and don't forget to subscribe to Beesotted Global, beesotted.com/global, which is our little social media network, which we just have a little chat about various little things. But like I said to you, we're in Qatar. We're going to be out early tomorrow. We're going to drop another podcast maybe in a day or two. We'll definitely try and drop one before the Wales game, which is the biggie, which is going to be in a couple of days' time. We've got a few characters coming over as well, and we might even probably do something for a bit of a party as well, like you know what I'm saying, and we'll tell you all about that later on. But listen, thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Also go to Beesotted and follow us on Beesotted as well. Believe the B99. Follow us on Instagram and also on Twitter as well. But we will catch up with you in a few days.